Impact of the hurricane. Want to welcome back our other hurricane hunter, if you will. Tom Paylor works at Weather Predict live in Raleigh, North Carolina. And Tom, both as a participant but also as a consumer of the media, we have all seen for years, time and time again, people like myself and others carry on about how terrible, horrible the hurricane is going to be. And then at the very last second, it turns out not to be as bad. The story here is all about the surge, the flooding with towns that are beneath the sea level, whether it's New Orleans or Mobile, Alabama. What's the probability that this hurricane lives up to its bark, if you will?
Yeah, I think we're really heading the other way with it, Dylan, at this point. It's actually getting worse. The pressure's dropped on the last reconnaissance report from the center of the storm. It's getting together better. The top winds are 135 miles an hour. It's possible that it gets even a little bit stronger before landfall, and there's really no way it's going to miss the coast and miss the coast. It's going to be a significant storm when it does make landfall. You're talking the surge, you mentioned that, but you're also going to have tremendous wind damage. It's going to be almost like a big vacuum cleaner as it makes landfall, because one reason it's different than Charlie and it's different than Francis. It's different than Charlie, and then its wind field is about 4 to 5 times as large as Charlie. So you've got a very populated area between Pensacola and the Biloxi Gulfport area where you're talking like about 1.3 million people live. So that is a huge metro area that is going to be impacted by this storm.
Is there any weather component that could intercede between now and tomorrow morning that could, at the very least, reduce the category level, the force of the hurricane?
I think the most you would possibly see it weaken is 5 or 10 miles an hour from where it is right now. And if it goes from 135 to 130 or 125, bottom line is it's still an unbelievably powerful storm, one of the strongest to ever hit at the Alabama region on record. You have to go back 1979. Hurricane Frederick made landfall. Winds were close to 130 miles an hour, and in 1979 dollars, it did between $2 and $3 billion of damage. So you can imagine a storm even a little stronger than Frederick making landfall in the area now. You're talking damage estimates will certainly exceed $10 billion and probably be well above that.
The cruise industry is specifically vulnerable. We've talked a lot about oil. Cruise lines haven't received as much attention.
Carnival Cruise Lines and also Royal Caribbean both came out with statements earlier this week. And Carnival estimated, due to the hurricane so far this year, they were going to see earnings this quarter 3 to 4 cents lower. You're talking Royal Caribbean announced that they were going to lower their expectations a little bit by 7 to 9 cents. And the hurricane season isn't over. We just passed the peak of the season. We've got a good month and a half left of the potential for stronger storms. The hurricane season actually goes to November 30th, but it's really hard to get really strong storms once you get into November, at least ones that affect the U.S.
Tom, on that note, we're already hearing about Hurricane Jeanne moving up. Any word on just how big this hurricane is going to be as well?
Our models at Weather Predict, we do run our own models, what's called the super ensemble process, and we did very well with the forecast track of Ivan, forecasting it into the Gulf well in advance of many others. And our forecast models for Jeanne do take it toward the Bahamas in about 5 days and reasonably close to the coast of Florida. The good news is that we aren't forecasting it to become a very strong hurricane at this point. You're talking more on the order of Category 1 storm as it does move west-northwest toward the Bahamas. And there are indications that it may actually turn toward the northwest once it does get close to the U.S. Right. So I don't think Jeanne is going to be a repeat of Ivan.
Okay. Tom, thank you very much. And aside from the business impact, all of our thoughts go to those who are on that coast. There is a serious